Let me tell you something that the mainstream wrestling media is completely glossing over. On that SmackDown, the last SmackDown before WrestleMania 42, Cody Rhodes didn't just cut a promo. He didn't just stand tall. He didn't just have a moment. No. Cody Rhodes walked out in front of a sold-out arena, looked directly into the camera like he knew CM Punk was watching in the back, and delivered one of the most ice-cold, calculated, terrifying messages we have ever seen from the American Nightmare. And the scariest part? He smiled while doing it. 5 words. 5 words. I am easy to find, but hard to beat. And if you think that was just a throwaway line, if you think that was just Cody being Cody, doing his little catchphrase thing, then you have not been paying attention. Because that sentence was not for Randy Orton. It was not for the WrestleMania crowd. That message had one destination, one name, one target: CM Punk. So before you scroll past this video, before you go watch another highlight reel or read another recap that tells you nothing, I need you to stay right here. Because by the time this video is done, you are going to understand exactly why what happened on that SmackDown changes everything about where WWE is headed and why Cody Rhodes just may be the most dangerous man in professional wrestling today. Drop a comment right now. Tell me, are you Team Cody or Team Punk? Because after what you're about to hear, your answer might change. Segment 1 set the scene. Let's go back to April 17, 2026. SmackDown, the go-home show before WrestleMania 42. The entire wrestling world is buzzing. Randy Orton has turned heel. Roman Reigns is gunning for CM Punk's World Heavyweight Championship. The card is stacked. The stakes could not be higher. And into this absolute inferno walks Cody Rhodes, the undisputed WWE Champion, a man who has carried the title on his back like a cross since the moment he finished his story at WrestleMania 40. Now, and this is critical, Cody was out there ostensibly to address Randy Orton. That was the advertised segment. That was the storyline reason for him being there. He talked about Orton's 2009 version, questioned how much the Viper had really changed, questioned the man's soul. Fine. Standard championship promo. You've seen it 100 times. But then, CM Punk's music hits. And the entire arena, already electric, just erupts. Because nobody expected this. Punk wasn't scheduled. Punk had no business being on SmackDown that night. He was supposed to be focused on Roman Reigns. He was supposed to be locked in, tunnel vision, WrestleMania mode. But here he comes, walking out in a full formal suit because the Hall of Fame ceremony was happening right after the show and you could see it in his eyes. Punk didn't come out there to fight. He came out there to measure Cody Rhodes. And that is where things got dangerous. Segment 2, the message decoded. Here's what nobody is talking about. Here's what the recap sites missed entirely. When those two men were in that ring together, the two champions, the two kings of this era, there was a tension underneath the civility that was absolutely suffocating. Punk cracked jokes. Cody played along. They hugged. They played to the crowd. On the surface, it looked like mutual respect. Two guys who'd been on parallel tracks, each carrying his brand, each carrying his title, acknowledging each other before the biggest weekend of the year. But Cody's body language told a completely different story. Watch the footage back. Watch his eyes when Punk is talking. There is no warmth there. There is calculation. There is assessment. Cody Rhodes was not standing in that ring with a friend. He was standing in that ring with his future. He was sizing up the man that, deep down, every single person in that building and everyone watching at home knows he is eventually going to have to go through. And then he said it. I'm easy to find, but I'm hard to beat. That wasn't a joke. That wasn't a throwaway moment of confidence. That was Cody Rhodes drawing a line. That was Cody Rhodes, in front of Punk's face, in front of the entire world, reminding CM Punk the best in the world, the man who once made an entire industry bend to his will, that when you come looking for the American Nightmare, when the day finally comes that you cash in your chips and call your shot, you're not getting an opportunity. You're getting a warning. Think about what that sentence communicates. I'm easy to find. Translation: I'm not running. I'm not hiding. I don't need to play games. I don't need to dodge you. I don't need to fear you. You want this? I'm right here. Every week. Carrying this title. Being exactly what you've always claimed you deserve to be. But here's the knife. Here's where it cuts deep. But I'm hard to beat. Because CM Punk spent years claiming this company disrespected him. Spent years saying he was the best wrestler on the planet and nobody would let him prove it. And then he came back. And then he won the World Heavyweight Championship. And then at WrestleMania 42, in the biggest match of his second run, Roman Reigns speared him into the mat and took that title. Punk collapsed trying to go for the GTS. He couldn't finish the move. And he lost. And Cody knows this. Cody was watching. Cody was paying attention. And Cody is now telling Punk, in the most polite, composed, devastating way imaginable, you haven't beaten me yet. And when you try, you'll find out why. Segment 3, the emotional layer. But here's where this story gets its soul. Because this isn't just trash talk. This isn't just two alpha males posturing. There's something human happening underneath all of this. Cody Rhodes, in that same segment, almost broke down in tears. He wasn't talking about CM Punk when it happened. He shifted and you could feel the arena shift with him to something personal, something deeper. He touched on his father, on legacy, on what it means to carry a name that the world counted out for decades. And for just a moment, the champion cracked. Not in weakness, in weight. Because Cody Rhodes feels every single pound of what he carries. This title isn't a prop to him. This championship isn't content. It's the culmination of his entire life. And CM Punk, to his credit, understood the room. He let the moment breathe. And then, Punk being Punk, he lightened it. He said he'd save the tears for after he beat Roman Reigns. And Cody smiled. And they hugged. And the crowd exploded. But here's the thing that haunts me about that moment. Here's the thing I cannot shake. Punk didn't beat Roman Reigns. He lost. He collapsed. He lost the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 42. And now he's standing there on Raw the following Monday. No title, no WrestleMania moment, no triumphant journey complete, and Cody Rhodes walks out as the champion. Still. And Punk looks at Cody's title. The report from this week's Raw is chilling. Punk looks at that undisputed WWE Championship belt and says almost to himself, you never know when a title opportunity might just fall out of the sky. And Cody's response? Just say when. 2 words. 2 words that carry the weight of 1,000 wars. Segment 4: Why this feud will be different. Now I want you to understand something. I want you to understand why a potential Cody Rhodes vs CM Punk program is not just another match. This is not just two popular wrestlers having a feud for a belt. This is the collision of two men who have spent their entire careers trying to prove they belonged at the top of this industry, and both of them have done it in completely different ways. CM Punk, the outsider who burned bridges, quit, sued, came back on his own terms, and willed himself back to relevance through sheer force of personality and spite. Cody Rhodes, the insider who left, rebuilt himself from scratch, came back to the place that his own family helped build, and instead of spite, chose love. Love for the craft, love for the fans, love for the story. These are not just two wrestlers. These are two philosophies. Two entirely different answers to the question, what does it take to make it? And now they're circling each other. Now they're sharing rings and exchanging loaded glances and dropping lines like, I'm hard to beat, and just say when, and the whole time the clock is ticking. Because this match is coming. Maybe not today, maybe not next month, but it is coming with the inevitability of a freight train, and when it gets here, this entire industry is going to shake. I want you to tell me in the comments, when do you want to see this match? Do you want it at SummerSlam? Money in the Bank? Do you want them to let it simmer all the way until WrestleMania 43? Because the longer they wait, the bigger it gets. And the bigger it gets, the more nuclear that first punch is going to feel. Segment 5: The danger in Cody's calm. Let me close with this. Because I think this is the thing that people miss about Cody Rhodes that makes him truly terrifying as a champion. The loudest man in the room is never the most dangerous one. CM Punk is the loudest man in every room he enters. He is brilliant. He is magnetic. He is the kind of promo artist who can make you feel personally betrayed by words coming out of a stranger's mouth. That is a rare, extraordinary gift. And it has carried him to every high point of his career. But Cody Rhodes? Cody has learned something that very few wrestlers ever truly master. Cody has learned how to be still. He stood in that ring on Smackdown and he didn't yell. He didn't point a finger. He didn't threaten. He smiled. He got emotional. He hugged his rival. And somewhere in the middle of all that warmth, he slid a blade between Punk's ribs so quietly that half the audience didn't even feel it until they went home and rewatched the clip. I am easy to find, but I am hard to beat. That's not a taunt. That's a diagnosis. That's a man who has looked at CM Punk's resume, looked at his losses, looked at the WrestleMania moment that slipped through his fingers, and told him to his face, in front of millions, that when the time comes, history will not be kind to the best in the world. Because the American Nightmare does not flinch. He does not run. He does not hide behind a character or a catchphrase. He is right there, every single week, carrying the flag for this entire industry. And he has beaten everyone they've put in front of him. Randy Orton at WrestleMania 42? Handled. The Bloodline? Dismantled. Every obstacle, every roadblock, every snake, every viper, every villain this company has thrown at the American Nightmare? Done. So when CM Punk finally does say when, and he will, because that's who Punk is, that's what Punk does, he is going to walk into that arena with every chip he has left to cash. He is going to walk in with everything. His legacy, his pride, his proof, his purpose. And Cody Rhodes is going to be standing right there. Easy to find. Hard to beat. Outro. If this video hit you different, if you felt even a fraction of what I'm feeling about where this storyline is going, smash the like button right now. Not for the algorithm, for the people in the comments who need to have this conversation. Share this with every wrestling fan you know. Text it to your boys. Post it in your wrestling groups, because this is the kind of moment that we're going to look back on in 2 years and say that's where it started. That's the night Cody drew the line. Subscribe to Ring Rumble 1 if you're not already on board, because we don't do surface level here. We go deep. We go to the places the mainstream doesn't. Drop your hottest take in the comments. Is Cody Rhodes genuinely untouchable right now? Can CM Punk bounce back from losing the World Heavyweight Championship and eventually dethrone the American Nightmare? Or is this Cody's era full stop and everyone else is just fighting for second place?